And we're out of town square now. Just going to go off to the left to get this chest on the rooftop. And what you've just seen there is what happens if you're gliding and you press triangle in mid-glide. You drop down like a brick. Now, thankfully, they replaced it in future Spyro games. They changed it for the much more useful hover, which enabled you to get to certain places. And it was a bit more of a fun mechanic to use. What we've just picked up there is a spirit token, or at least that's what I like to call them. You get 20 spirit tokens, you get an extra life. And the way spirit tokens work is if you hit or defeat an enemy you've already defeated before, they drop spirit tokens instead of gems. Just have a quick check, see if I can... No, it's not in the menu. I was going to see if I could show you up close. But yeah, if you look in the top right, every time I pick one up, they form a ring around Spyro's life meter, and then you get an extra life if you complete the circuit. And I'm back. I just went downstairs to grab a drink. Saving the artisan's homeworld is thirsty work, isn't that right, Spyro? Spyro? Back me up on this, Spyro. Just a quick recap, we have got all of the stuff from the homeworld, all of the stuff from Stonehill, and we nearly got everything from Town Square, just 10 gems because of that fan belt that cannot be destroyed. Impeding my 100% completion rate. Thank you very much, Town Square. Thank you very much. So already we know we cannot complete the game 120%, so... But anyway, new level, Dark Hollow. We've gone through a maze and we're entering what is obviously a nighttime level. Can't have been the name that suggested that, surely. But here we are. And it gives us the first shielded enemy of the game. Shielded enemies can't be flamed while their shields are erect. When they're not erect, you can actually flame them. But this is one of the few shielded enemies that does that. Most shielded enemies will keep their shields up unless you get very close. I guess it was because this is one of the first levels that has them, so they tried to make it as easy as possible. So, luckily we don't have to worry about it anyway. We can just charge through them. This down here is what equates to the secret area of Dark Hollow, down this staircase, in that it's not really secretive, but the way that the level forms, it's off to the side and it's really easy to miss. So we'll qualify it as a secret area. This is another new enemy of the game. This is a giant Nork that will use its belly to belly bounce us if we approach it from the front. It's armoured, which means it can't be flamed from the front, but it's also too big to charge. So ordinarily we'd have to flame it from behind. I'm not particularly sure why it even bothers wielding a wooden shield, because it's not as though it's going to offer any more protection, since it's the back that is the problem. Oswin.
Spyro. Want to know a secret? Use the triangle button when you want to zoom in and look around. Oh, your secret's safe with me.
Wow, what an eye-opening secret that was, Oswin. Using triangle to zoom in. I wonder if you use triangle to zoom in. Wish I'd have used it there. I probably wouldn't have fell into that lake of doom. Get all these red gems. I just hate the sight of red gems. They're not really worth much. And there's always one gem in every level that's easy to miss, and that's the one there in between the two pillars. Whoops. I'm going to leave our belly bouncing friend laughing his head off. You watch. We'll defeat you in the other challenge, I promise you that. But for now we're just going to have to glide back and just take the heat. Now, we picked up a gold key as you saw in that cave, which means that there's a lockbox, so keep our eyes peeled. Grab a frog, which is the native fodder. Oh, and lo and behold, a lockbox right at the beginning of the level. So easy to not miss. And we're rewarded with about the same amount of gems as we was in Stonehill. Stingy dragons galore. This is another new enemy. It's another giant Nork, but this one is not armoured, but it is more attack orientated. It's got a meat club in its hand. We get too close, it will attack us. And being big, we cannot charge it. It can only be flamed. No, I'm a vegetarian! Oh. Can I at least have a bite of your chicken? Another enemy that I'm not really sure what the point of its wooden shield is. I guess it's for aesthetic. And I guess it'd look a bit empty without it. Next dragon, Alban.
Oh, it's you! I wasn't sure if you'd escape those annoying little creatures. Of course they wouldn't bother me, but here's a hint. metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of it.
Another handy tip, you find that that's a running theme with the dragons on this particular game, is that they tell you the advice you need to defeat certain enemies after you've already encountered them, making their advice somewhat pointless because you would practically have to figure it out for yourself anyway before you can realistically advance. Or we fight here a little army of Gnorcs, and it does the humorous thing where you walk up to them, the three of them are standing in a row ready to intercept your dragon might, and then two of them just abandon the one guy in front to hide behind the big Gnorc. It's one of a nice little touches to the game. Two little stacks of logs there, and you may think, well, what's the point of that? Aesthetic purposes maybe. You can actually interact with those logs and flame them, but we can't flame, so we can't do anything about that. Oh, for a minute there I thought I'd press flame. I was just quaking in my boots that I just messed up the challenge by flaming that chest. But luckily I didn't. A couple of gems just hidden off to the side areas. Requires a little bit of nous, a bit of geography knowledge of Dark Hollow to know there could be some gems up there. Whoop! Oh no. Ambush! It's an ambush! Ambush! Oh. Didn't you hear me? It was an ambush. Quite attack orientated. I'm taking a lot of damage on this particular level, not being able to flame the big guys. The little guys really aren't an issue. Isn't that right, Darius?
Big enemies like this Gnorc with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
Darius, I would really gladly take your advice, but seeing as you just abandoned me to these big Gnorcs, you're not really doing much for me, are you? You could have just, instead of disappearing to wherever you disappeared to, you could help me with these big Gnorcs that keep hitting me. Tribute up there to Insomniac Games. Little fun fact, called Insomniac because clearly the word Insomniac usually means, you know, not much sleep. And the game designers prided themselves on not getting much sleep while designing their earlier games, so that became their name. I'm pretty sure the moon is almost like their logo in the Ratchet & Clank games, so I can't remember. Now, I've got 79 gems and I feel like I should have 80. So I'm just having a quick look around in case I have just missed one randomly. It's very easy to miss just occasional 1 gems. I mean, I could be wrong and there may not be 80 gems I can get on this level, but I feel like there is. And Dark Hollow then, of course, will join Town Square in one of the levels that I cannot complete. Thank you very much. Spoiling the fun. Just double check back up here. Don't even know why I go in there. I mean, I've played this game a gazillion and 1 times, and there's never any gems in that area, so why I went back to check is beyond me. But moving forward, we must focus on the positives. Ooh, what a beautiful moon. And what a not so beautiful enemy. Keep out of his range. He's hit me maybe 2 or 3 times already. Don't want to give him the 3rd Pete. The 3 Petes. He's probably called Dave by the looks of him, but... No, perhaps I was wrong. Oh, I think I know. That enemy that I was just joking about being called Dave. Oh, just a quick thing there. That animation is so cool. The Gnorc eating his meat club when you're at a distance. I liked that. But I think that the one gem I'm thinking of was actually inside one of the big Gnorcs that I can't actually get anyway, so never mind. Alright, and that marks the last level we need to do in the Artisan's Homeworld. That is it. We are done. We've done every single level that we can do. We've done Dark Hollow, Stonehill, Toasty, the Speedway, I think Sunny Flight is what it's called, and of course Town Square. We are now ready to move on. Marco, where shall we go next? I didn't think you could do it. Are you ready to travel to the Peacekeepers? I am indeed, Marco. Take it away. No idea where Peacekeepers' Homeworld is in relation to Artisans. No real geography of that kind. But the Peacekeepers' world is a lot more desert themed, whereas Artisans was grass based. And we're greeted straight away by a dragon, and the Peacekeepers' world, it's almost like a solitary desert island. Just going to quickly save the game. The inhabitants are dragons that are warriors, or kind of like warriors, I guess that's why they're called Peacekeepers, and also a selection of Napoleonic soldiers. Not really sure why they're the enemy of choice and what made them be the design choice that Insomniac chose for the residents of the Peacekeepers world, but they're funny to laugh at anyway, and I don't know whether it's intentionally offensive or not, whether or not the designers deliberately made the Napoleonic soldiers frog-like in appearance. Gonna slay these Napoleonic soldiers that get in the way. Promise it's nothing personal, my French friends. We're not like that. Take note of the cannons, as they will only be usable in this run. Watch as they scurry under their tents, and we are greeted by a chorus of Napoleonic backsides.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
No, Spyro, that's the wrong kind of brow-nosing. We don't want to be doing that. We don't want to consult with the enemy. We will, however, barbecue their backsides, because that, my friend, is funny. What else is quite funny with those enemies is that when you're facing them, they quiver in fear, but then the moment you turn away, they start showing their moonies to you, which I always found kind of funny. We're down into an ice cavern kind of area, but we're not going to bother with that level yet. We're going to continue on in the Peacekeepers world first. Another Napoleonic soldier. You can never remember which tents they decide to hide behind. Corpse intercepted the cannonball there, that was delightful. Uniquely with these Norks, they're not particularly strong in hand-to-hand combat. They use a spear, but they are quite potent when they're on cannons. They will launch the cannons at Spyro. This is where the cannons come in handy, as I said, to watch out for. We can use them to flame open different chests that ordinarily we can't. These strong boxes, they cannot be destroyed by charging, and there's no key to open them. They can only be destroyed by using the cannonballs. So as you can imagine, in the future run, in the other run rather, we'll have to miss out on the strong boxes, since there's no other way to open those chests. So we're going to collect all the gems, the spoils of our explosive tendencies. And this is almost like a secret area of Peacekeepers, the closest thing to a secret area, because, you know, even though there's a giant pillar with a big target on it basically shouting at you, please blow me up, you're not always that clever when you're smaller, so sometimes you'd miss out this entire section of the Peacekeepers world. Over here is the secret upon secrets, this little area, and I've just realised coming over here right now is actually pointless, considering there is a treasure trove in here and we can collect these spring boxes, but there is a treasure chest that requires a key, and we have walked right past it. So the only way to get back to it is to glide over to where we began and to very slowly Spyro trot / glide our way all the way back around the canyons. Damn it, police, I wish I could charge. This is so time consuming. But why did you come with such a stupid challenge, asshole? And here, in this hidden oasis, is a dragon, a key, and an egg thief. Quite the collection of spoils, I know. Now, this egg thief, we aren't going to be able to charge. Oops, didn't mean to click on play dragon.
Well done, Spyro! Keep up the good work, and I know you'll fulfill your destiny.
Destiny? I just want to kick some...
Just toast those enemies and collect the treasure!
I decided to play that dragon since we may not see it on the other run. So, we need to get this egg thief, and the only way we can do that is by a very good glide across the water to do what we did with Stonehill, like that. Get him in his indecisive phase. And we've got our key for our troubles and 2 chests that we cannot open. I don't think that the cannons can reach over there, so we're going to skip out on those chests for now. I may try it in the future to see if it's doable, but I don't think we can get those chests. But we can get the treasure chest with our key. And another stingy treasure chest. There's quite a few. It's not until later levels where we start actually getting rewarded for our troubles. But it puts us towards completion, so that's all that matters. I'm not actually sure what has more effect on completion, dragons or getting a certain amount of gems, or I don't know. But what we are going to do now is we're going to go to the first level of the Peacekeepers world by standard elimination, Dry Canyon. Not Dry Canyon like Electric Paradox likes to call it.